The second trailer for Fire Emblem Engage just dropped, and I wanted to go over 3 of the most important things that I noticed throughout this trailer. So the first thing I want to bring up are some of the main locations and important characters that were mentioned. We finally got the names of the different regions that were revealed during the first trailer. The first is Firene, the region that characters like Alfred, Celine, and others are from. It's confirmed that this is the grassy region that I first predicted in my last video. Second, we have the rocky kingdom of Brodia, where we get more footage of the redhead prince from the previous trailer. Alongside him, we see more of the older king looking guy and these 3 new characters. After that, we transition to Somme, which is the desert region with the darker skin girl. This time, we see her along with the other guy who we previously only saw in the special edition art. It seems like maybe he's also a prince alongside the girl, but I'm not too sure on that. It's also interesting to note that Alfred says Somme has always had good relations with Firene. Does that imply that some of these other regions like Brodia or Elusia haven't had the best relations with each other? Lastly, we get to Elusia, where we see the mage girl from the previous trailer. It's weird that in this trailer, she clearly seems like an antagonist, but we know that she's a good character because of the first trailer, so we've kind of been spoiled on that already. Apart from that, we know that Elusia is the ice region and it's not in the Alliance anymore, and that some of its inhabitants worship the Fell Dragon. To me, Elusia and Brodia are the clear standouts and I'm excited to learn more about them. The second thing I wanted to bring up was the emblems. Right off the bat, we got confirmation that there would only be 12 emblems, nothing more, so that was pretty disappointing. We also got to hear Marth speak a lot throughout this trailer, so that definitely eased a lot of my concerns about the game. If you haven't seen my last video, one thing I was really worried about was that emblems would just be these summonable phantoms that provide minimal contributions to the overall story. And for the most part, it seems that won't be the case as we see Marth speaking to Alir about his past, which implies the emblems will recall the previous war like I'd hoped. One thing I did want to note though, is that Marth introduces himself as Emblem Marth, which to me says that these are just another version or echo of the real deal. It's basically Intelligent Systems' way to cover up this game as not entirely canon for the Emblem characters' stories. As for the characters themselves, we see returning characters like Marth and Celica featured, but we finally get a glimpse of some other emblems like Roy, Ike, Lucina, and Lyn. Interestingly, their looks are different compared to the original painting in the trailer. Lucina isn't in her mask and is wielding falchion, even though she was depicted with her mask and bow in the first trailer. And Lyn is shown with the bow even though she was depicted with her mani-caddy earlier. Ike is the strangest case as he's shown in his Radiant Dawn form wielding Ragnall, even though he is depicted in his Path of Radiance look with an axe. It's weird because Micaiah is supposed to be the Radiant Dawn representative, so why would they have Ike rep that game instead of Path of Radiance? In the end, this stuff is fairly minor, but it's still interesting nonetheless. The last thing I wanted to mention is the use of hair colors in this trailer. As we see from the footage, the emblems can be controlled by the wearer of the ring. When Alir and his allies use the rings, we can see the emblems glowing blue, but when the villains wear the rings, not only is there a red glow, but their hair color also changes to red. This obviously plays into the whole theme of player units being blue and enemy units being red, but I think this also has a lot to do with Alir's crazy hair design. Maybe the reason their hair is such a jarring red and blue is because he has both good and bad parts of him. Throughout this trailer, we see these really odd clips of Alir where he definitely looks evil, and in those clips, we can see that his hair is all red. This basically alludes to the fact that Alir has some kind of a dark side to him, and either has done or will do some evil things which will cause his hair to turn all red. All in all, this trailer was definitely interesting. It's raised my hype level for the game with all of this new information dumped on us to analyze, but it still left some concerns for me. I like seeing the inclusion of the emblems within the story rather than just fighting during gameplay, and I'm interested in seeing how they're going to play a part as potential antagonists throughout the story. But I'm also concerned about the story, especially due to the fact that it seems it's going to be a pretty basic collect all the rings and defeat the evil dragon storyline. The character designs are also all over the place. There's a lot here that I like, but there's also a lot I really don't like, particularly for the bad guys. They're all just too different looking, and don't really seem like they're part of one cohesive unit. Maybe that won't be an issue when I'm actually familiarized with the characters, but as of now, it's a bit of a mess to me. The main hope I'm holding on to as of this trailer is that I hope Alir potentially being an evil character is a good twist and makes the story more interesting and complicated. But the fact that we already know that Alir is possibly going to be a bad guy is already a bit of a bummer in itself, but hopefully we don't learn any more details until we get to play the game ourselves. Anyways, that's all for now. I hope you all enjoyed this short analysis and recap of the new trailer. What did you guys think about it? Did it make you more excited for the game or less excited? Let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. I'll see you guys on the next one.